Good morning, good afternoon. This is going to be 4.4. Excuse me. 4.4, day 1. We're going to be talking about linear functions. We're going to be able to represent linear functions as tables and graphs and use equations, tables, and graphs to solve problems. And then later on day 2, we're going to be determining if the data represented is continuous or discrete. Okay, so first, it's a function in which the graph, a linear function. Let me just, I have it all written, finished. All right, linear functions, a function in which the graph of the solution is a straight line. Okay, linear functions are just one type of function. Graphing the function, we have 4 steps. So you're going to want to create a table from -2 to 2, and if you are given a labeled graph, use 5 numbers from the x-axis. Okay, graph the ordered pairs, connect the dots according to the domain and the range, pretty much according to the problem, and then label the graph if needed. So if you have just a graph, you're going to connect them just regular old, y equals x minus 5. What we're going to be doing the first few problems, it's going to be just a line. You're going to connect all the dots. If you only have positive numbers, say, you're going to have a ray starting from maybe the first point going up. And if you have only, certain dots and only certain numbers can go into the certain equation, you're going to have a line segment. Okay, so our first one we're going to do is y equals x minus 5. So I'm going to create my function table with x. This is my equation of y equals x minus 5, and this is my y. I think this is out of order, but that's okay. Again, you're going to put -1, a -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2 into your equation wherever you see x. So you're going to actually just take your equation here, x minus 5. So instead of the x, I'm going to write parentheses. And in my parentheses, I'm going to put -2 in here. So -2 minus 5 gets me a -7. Then x minus 5, and instead of x, I'm going to replace it with what I want x to be. So -1. So -6, 0, 1, and 2. So if you notice, there's a pattern here. -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. I'm going up by 1. Here, -7, -6, -5, -4, -3, I go up by 1. Here, the only thing that is changing or varying is the variable, which is the x, and it's going -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. It's changing, but that minus 5 is staying the same. So I input numbers into my equation, I got numbers out. Remember, this is my domain and my range, not what they're asking me, but still. Okay, here, my labels, I'm just going to label 1, 2, 3, 4. Each notch is going to be 1. So I want to plot my points. -2, I go to -2, because this is -1, -2, and I go down to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I put a dot. Okay, -1 to -6. 0 to -5. 1 to -4, and 2 to -3. All right, the next one. Oh, I did forget one thing. I want to connect them with a line, because if it's just a function, if it's just an equation, I want to connect them with a line. Okay, so I'm going to pause it for. All right. The equation, -2x, y. Again, I'm going to want to put in -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So -2 stays the same, and wherever I see an x, I'm going to put parentheses. So -2, -2, -2, -2. That x is going to change, so -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. And remember, when I multiply -2 times -2, it's a +4, +3. Oh, whoops, +2, sorry. +2, 0, -2, -4. Okay, I want to plot these points, so over to -2 and up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Over to -1 and up to 2. 0, 0, 1, -2, and 2, -4. Okay, if for some reason you're going along and all of a sudden you get a point over here instead of maybe, say, this one. Well, that is not a straight line, right? It's way over here. It's not on this straight line. So I should go back and check my math again. Okay? Okay, this one on the test, a lot of us were doing that math wrong with this. Remember, the 3 and the x right next to each other mean multiplication. So I'm going to create my table again. And 3x minus 2 in here, and my y. I'm going to do -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. And I'm going to write a little smaller. Remember, instead of my x, I'm going to write parentheses. And I'm going to put in -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. And I have to remember, order of operations says that I have to do multiplication first. So when they're next to each other, they're multiplying. So 3 times a -2 is a -6 minus 2. And that would be a -8. -3 minus 2 is a -5. 0 minus 2 is a -2. 3 minus 2 is 1, and 6 minus 2 is 4. So now I have -2. Well, here I'm going off of my grid, so I'm going to go by 2's each time. So -2, -4, -2, -4, -6, -8. So -2, -8. -1 would be halfway between, and it would be -5, which is halfway between. So 0, -2. I should be writing this one. Okay, 1, 1, and 2, 4. Excuse me. All right. Our last example is going to be the farmer's market sells apples for $2 per pound and oranges for $1 per pound. Marjorie has $10 to spend, so this function they give you is y equals 10 minus 2x. And represents the number of apples, x. So they give you what they want you to use for x, and oranges is y, that Marjorie can purchase. Graph the function and interpret the points. So first, it gives you that apples is x, so I'm going to go ahead and label right away. Apples and oranges. And I would also not want to forget my market, my title. Okay, so I want to create a graph or a table, but here they give you a labeled axis. So you're going to pick these numbers here to input for x. So 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. And my equation is that 10 minus 2x, and I get something out. Now, 10 minus 2x. 10 minus 2x. 10 minus 2x. So you see wherever I said x, I started putting parentheses. So 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. So I want to do multiplication first. So 2 times 0, which is 0. So 10 minus 0 is 10. So 0, 10, I'm going to go plot that point in 0, but up 10. I'm going to write 0, 10 next to it, just to get a little ahead. Okay, 2 times 4, or sorry, 2 times 2 is 4. 10 minus 4 is 6. So I can go over to 2 and up to 6. Okay, 2 times 4 is 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. So over to 4 and up to 2. It's 12. 10 minus 12 is a negative 2. 16 is a negative 6. Now, I'm not going to plot those points because, one, they're not on here. I don't have that graph, but it's also, I can't have a negative amount of y or oranges. I can't have this negative amount. So these ones are not valid. I can only have this amount in here. And I'm not going to, it's going to go from one point to the next. I don't want to go, it's not going to be a line with arrows because it doesn't go into the negative quadrants. Okay, and then if I wanted to interpret this point 0, 10, the x is 0, which means this is my x, right? So apples is 0 and oranges is 10. That means she can buy 0 apples and 10 oranges. Or she can buy 10 oranges if she buys no apples. So this point here would be 2, 6. She can buy 2 apples and 6 oranges. 4 apples, 2 oranges. That would be interpreting the points on the graph. And you're not going to interpret these ones. Well, you can say that you can't have those types because they are negative. All right.